Last time on Thrill of the Race.
Big high side for Christian Hidden. That's a massive crash. The championship leader extends his lead. Glenn Irwin wins the sprint race at Donington. This time it was a better attempt, but through comes Glenn Irwin again. The power of the Ducati, and it's attempt number 2 that fails.
Glenn Irwin's not going to have a chance.
He's going for P1 O'Halloran. He takes no prisoners, and Danny Kent's in on the action as well on the Yamaha. Through into 3rd. This is fantastic.
Showtime, baby.
After a 3-week break from our sensational last round at Donington Park, the Bennettts British Superbike Championship heads north, the furthest north of the season, and we cross the border into the Kingdom of Fife. There's just a few points difference now between the protagonists at the top of the table. It's all to play for as we take the British Superbike Championship to north of the border for round 4.
Free practice was interesting at Knockhill. Straight away, Rory Skinner came out swinging. He's back for his home round. He's back after a long injury layoff, and we know how much he likes here.
So it's been really nice to come home to Knockhill. You know, for me making my comeback round Knockhill, it's been good. You know, day one didn't really have much expectations for it. Just wanted to settle myself in, and yeah, it turned out we had a good run and dry this morning before the rain came in, and managed to put a decent time in, top in the session.
He's a lap record holder at Knockhill, so he was obviously coming with his chest out a little bit, but also a little bit unsure about how the Cheshire Mouldings BMW was going to work at Knockhill. Unlike Donington, Knockhill's a bit of a unique place. It's a short, aggressive, action-packed lap. It's narrow, similar to Cadwell Park on that vein, but the track only, 47, 48 seconds per lap.
Free practice too, being wet, it was nice to get some wet track time under my belt with the other riders. First time for me out on track with everybody else on the VM in the wet.
We saw good times from the veterans. Josh Brooks out there straight away. The 2 first guys to leave the pit lane in the rain, Leon Haslam, Josh Brooks. Why? Because they know they want to maximise their track time. They're chasing the bike a little bit as well. And we saw them doing lap after lap after lap, and we saw a lot of riders just circulating in the rain to try, not necessarily get a bike set up better, but just to try and get themselves bedded into the rain.
Coming into Knockhill, it's now round 4. So anybody that's been lagging behind a bit is going to want to try and make some sort of impact. You can get away with the odd DNF for the first few rounds, but now it's time to start working on business a bit. We've had a mixture of winners in the past. So I think all eyes were on Glenn coming into Knockhill because he was twice a winner here last year. And also all eyes on Tommy.
This weekend with the weather, it's been tricky because we've not got hardly any dry track time, to be honest. So we obviously got 10 minutes yesterday morning, then it was really wet. We got this morning, and then obviously qualifying, which was dry. So we were going in a little bit blind.
Bridewell was on a really good first sector there, but it's just gone a little wrong for him. Yeah, a little bit of traffic out there. Fastest sector of anyone, sector 2 for Rory Skinner, who improves to 7th.
Qualifying was a little bit difficult, I'd say. Coming straight into it this morning, dry track time. Not that it was really a problem, but I just didn't quite click. I kind of rode a little bit tight, forced it a little bit too much, and the time just didn't come. 2
tenths, well, just under 3 tenths off, and 7th is where Skinner finds himself. He'll have one more flying lap before the checkered flag goes out. He's trying. Got Andy Irwin just behind him on circuit as well, through the chicane. That was lovely.
Before FP1, I came here in quite a good way. My mentality has been good, I've been training good, and also I enjoyed some time off. Yeah, I arrived and I feel confident. Knockhill has been a track that I've always enjoyed riding, even though 12 months ago I got injured, my foot's sticking out of my skin, and now it's a much sweeter place to be.
This is working out quite well for Andy Irwin, just behind Skinner. If he doesn't get held up here, Skinner might just drag Irwin up to a front row start. Should be okay. Out of the final corner. Yeah. Checkered flag, he's out. Bucket enters pit lane. Here comes Skinner then. Skinner stays in 8th. Andy Irwin stays in 6th.
I felt comfortable, but I get to a point where I go, I'm at about 90% in qualifying, because technically you're supposed to go 100%, but I was like at about 90%, and I was pole position, and I thought, 3 minutes ago, if I drop off the front 2 rows, that's not ideal, but for me, I always say front 2 rows, I can win a race from there.
Smiles here on this side of the the garage for Tommy.
They should be proud of themselves. The team and Tommy, honestly, they're making the best of things. You never really knew how good that Honda was.
If we rewind back to qualifying, Christian Idden wasn't due to get into actual qualifying. He didn't get through straight away. He only got through because Franco Born was removed from the time that he put in for consistently crossing the blend line at the end of the pit lane.
Yeah, if you watch here, just on the right, there is the pit lane exit. So crossing the blue line, and that means track limits exceeded.
Franco would have made Q2. Franco should have made Q2, but he kept on going over that blend line at the entrance to turn number 1. And I'm pretty sure the guys from Rapid Honda will be kicking themselves a bit with that. There'll be a little word in Franco's ear because his time was good. He looked good on the bike as well, but ultimately that put him way on the back foot for qualifying itself.
We didn't have the bike where it needed to be, so I had to go through to the first qualifying session because from there on it was wet. So, yeah, by the time I'd calmed down from the fact I hadn't made it through straight into automatic qualifying, I sort of calmed myself down. I thought, you know what, in the wet in the afternoon, I'll be quick. That's not a big-headed thing to say. I've always been quick around here in the wet, so I was like, you know, it'll be fine. I'll be happy in the afternoon because I'll be in the top 2 or 3.
Bennettts BSB travels north for round 4 of the championship in 2024, and after a torrential downpour, the sun shines down on this Knockhill circuit. This is the grid then. Bridewell, O'Halloran and Brooks are on that first row. 2 of those riders looking for their first wins of the season. It's going to be 25 laps around this 1.2 mile circuit here in sunny Scotland. The reigning champion will lead them away as the lights go out. The green flag waves in the background, and up here in the hills of Scotland, we're ready to go racing. Round 4 of 2024 is underway. A good start from the second row there from Glenn Irwin and his brother Andy as well. Shooting through though, here comes Tommy Bridewell, being challenged by O'Halloran, but it's Bridewell that will get the whole shot. But Andy Irwin and Glenn Irwin off the second row. Great start, James.
Yeah, particularly from Andy, went right round the right-hand side, then cut across to the left because he didn't want to get caught out on that damp patch going in to Duffer Stip.
As you would expect, most of them going single file on this opening lap here, trying not to get too caught up, but a good start there from Tommy Bridewell.
I didn't make a great start. I was I missed the jump and I slipped the clutch a bit too much. But anyway, I still managed to hold on to the whole shot, and because of that, I was able to ride my own lines. I was able to dodge the wet patches if I needed. I was able to ride how I felt was comfortable.
A couple of riders making moves there. That was Rory Skinner making a move on Josh Brooks, I believe. Glenn Irwin there trying to challenge his brother Andy, and he's got up on the inside line there, the number 2 on the Ducati, and he goes past younger brother, runs it a bit wide, but he holds the line. Even in fully dry conditions, a hard place to overtake, but Christian Idden makes the move on Vickers on the approach to turn 1.
I was 9th and it was hard to be 9th. We opted for not a fully dry setup. I thought we were going to have a podium in that first race. In the first few laps, I felt really good and racy, and as the line continued to dry almost completely.
Rory Skinner has had 4 podiums here at his beloved home circuit at Knockhill. He's lining up a move on Ryan Vickers down into the hairpin. He's got that inside line, and that's nice and tidy actually from the Scotsman, and there's a big round of applause from his home fans as well.
Even we heard that.
Rory looked brilliant out there. The Cheshire Mouldings BMW looked good on the brakes. I don't think anybody was any more committed on the brakes going in towards the hairpin than Rory Skinner, and he never missed an apex. That was the impressive part of that.
Andy Irwin not letting his brother out of sight. Over that bump there,
actually,
the bike out of shape.
That's because Glenn keeps making little bits of mistake. Look, wide there again. Yeah.
Donington, a couple of weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, I made a step, especially in the third race. I got a little bit of confidence. I was like, there's something. Then we had a bit of a test a few weeks ago, and I found something there that I was just able to enjoy and change how I ride the bike a little bit, especially the 24 Fireblade. I was still riding a bit like the 23 one. And I made a step from that.
That was a nice move from Rory Skinner, but on the cutback, here comes, elbows from Christian Idden. They're side by side there, Rory Skinner and Christian Idden. Neither of them want to give it up, and Skinner leaves it last to break into turn 1.
That was just toughing it out between them, wasn't it?
It all kind of came into, not to plan, because I didn't plan anything, but you know, it just kind of fell into place. Found really good kind of drive into the hairpin and just managed to pick people off one by one. There was obviously a big wet patch on a run in there, and basically every lap I just held her wide open and just kind of hoped for the best. We started to spin and just jabbed the back brake and hope it settled it down.
He's challenging immediately. Look at the speed difference between the Kawasaki and the BMW, and up the inside, here comes Rory Skinner then on Jason O'Halloran. They almost touch into the hairpin, and Skinner then moves up into fourth, and Tommy Bridewell is gone.
He has gone. Oh, here comes Glenn up the inside of his
Will he
brother,
get it
Andy.
stopped? Is he going to get it stopped? He is a block pass.
Andy looks for the cutback.
Oh, they're side by side, the two brothers there. Look at that, shutting the door on Big Bro.
And look at Rory.
And Rory comes through, and Glenn's having none of it. They're three abreast almost on the approach to turn one.
He had some work to do in the race from 8th on the grid. This place is notoriously difficult to overtake on, and he was just picking them off one by one, which I really like to see. I mean, Tommy was gone, and that's really unique in BSB these days. You just do not see riders drifting off in the distance, specifically on a drying circuit here. Didn't see that coming, but Rory was definitely the best of the rest. I mean, coming through the field like he did and the speed that he showed was great.
Is he close enough to set something up here?
Oh, he's going to have a look. He's got the inside line. He almost goes through on the leg. Oh, Glenn Irwin is just nudged that. That was beautiful from Rory Skinner. How has he pulled that up?
I did not see that been as clean as it was.
I was still running, I don't know, 6th, and I think we would have had the pace to have passed one more. And I got took out.
Oh, hey, that's two of them off. That's Christian Hidden and I think Ryan Vickers. I don't know what's happened between them, but that's the pair of them.
Oh, here comes Rory.
In with the signature move.
Up the inside, nicely done. He doesn't run wide. He's got it nailed. Rory Skinner up to second.
And that might be important if this race gets stopped. How many laps are we in with 2/3?
Yeah, we've done 2/3.
Right, okay.
We have done 2/3. Over the line we go then. It's Tommy Bridewell up ahead. Is that smoke coming out of the back of Irwin's bike? Or
Yes,
is that
it
just,
is. Yeah.
He parked, he goes
It is.
into pit lane. Glenn Irwin, he can't see what's happened. He's got his arms in the air, but he'll be told shortly what's gone wrong.
If you've seen what we were seeing, there's absolutely no question. No question.
Meanwhile, out front, Bridewell leads 4.4 up on lap 22. The reigning champion with the #1 on the front of his Honda is about to show who's back in town and who means business. This has been one of the finest solo rides we've seen in BSB in some time.
Masterful performance.
They had some struggles at the start of the year, did Honda, but this is a way to answer all of the questions. Tommy Bridewell, the reigning champion, creams the field here at Knockhill, and Rory Skinner is back on the podium, and likewise Honda there celebrate with Andy Irwin in third.
You have no idea, like, when you're in this bad moment for the past, honestly, it feels like it's been 12 months, from I've been competitive, and then now to be on the podium, it's mega.
The work that Stuart Shenton and Rory Skinner have done on that BMW certainly paying off here at Knockhill. And what a way to come back. He went out for a Nando's after to celebrate.
I'll hold my hands up and just say it. You know, when I heard that Tommy was moving from Ducati to Honda, of course we didn't really know what the Honda was going to be like. We didn't know how, you know, the bike was going to be. It's a brand new bike, but he has surprised me, and I don't really know why I'm surprised or why I doubted him, because he's the champion. I don't know how Tommy felt himself, deep in his own heart. But he's ridden the wheels off that thing, and it looks great, and he looks happy. And he's been in the mix for every single race. And we arrive here at Knockhill. He's got a big smile on his face. And then, you know, goes out in race 1. And it's the quadruple. Pole position, whole shot, fastest lap, race win. As Tommy would say himself, sensational.
It's wet, wet, wet here in Scotland on Father's Day as we bring you the 10th race of 2024 and the first BSB race here on Sunday in Knockhill. He was out of the gates fast yesterday, the reigning champion Tommy Bridewell, and he will start this one from pole. 20 laps at a soggy Knockhill coming your way, and with Glenn Irwin, of course, having to exit the scene due to a mechanical. His lead has been cut. There are 8 points between 4 riders, 4 points between 3. Irwin leads it, but he starts this race from the back of the grid. We're ready to go racing here. A great crowd considering the weather. And it's lights out, and away we go for the second race. Immediately everyone bolting over to the right-hand side, trying to get the whole shot down into turn one. Another good start from Andy Irwin. Tommy Bridewell just has the whole shot down into Duffus.
I was having it, you know, I knew how we were riding in the wet this weekend so far, that we're strong. When the wet conditions were actually wet, we were always right up there at the top of the timesheet. Saw a gap, saw an opportunity, made it.
Rory Skinner here challenging Tommy Bridewell on the approach to the hairpin, and this will get the crowd going. On the number 11 BMW, Rory Skinner leads into the hairpin.
Yeah, and he's got it stopped. You've got to watch it down there. That's where the puddles start to develop, just on that entry into the hairpin.
Rory Skinner is hungry, so hungry. You can see it in him. You can see he's got the added 10 or 15 BHP from the audience, the crowd willing him on across that line. But he's going to have to go hard to try and beat the king.
Rory Skinner at the moment is loving life out front.
I don't think I've ever ridden a really wet race so intense. You know, getting my knee down and I'm braking hard all the way into the corner, tucking the front.
Rory Skinner it is that leads with that beautiful riding style on the Cheshire Mouldings BMW. Then it's Idden, there's Bridewell and Danny Kent. They drop now down into Duffus Dip, turn one at Knockhill.
Rory is an absolute legend around here. I mean, he's a legend anyway, but like around here he's proper legends. His pace and his sort of ability just to hit the same mark as lap on lap was incredible, and he did the same in the wet, and that helped me. It sort of dragged me away from the group a little bit.
Idden going through on Bridewell, and he's now hunting down Skinner. Oh, there's Kent.
That's Danny Kent.
Bridewell looking to retaliate. He's got that inside line. Nice.
That's right. Danny Kent couldn't hold the throttle when he were on the curb. He knew that, and that cost him time down that bottom straight.
We approach the hairpin. Danny Kent's going to have another look up the inside on the approach to the hairpin.
He's that keen on getting through. I think Danny Kent thinks he can go quicker than he was going behind Bridewell.
It would be brilliant for Rory if he could pick up a win, but then likewise, Christian Idden has got stacks of reasons as to why he would feel that that win would come at a good time.
Kind of thought maybe had a little bit of something for him. We were marginally quicker in different places. He had his strong points, I had mine. I started to peg him back in a little bit towards the latter stages, and then I had a little bit of a mechanical.
Idden just creeping closer, it seems, on this lap, and Danny Kent is reeling them in.
Yeah, fast man on track, Danny Kent into...
Idden's gone a bit too hot, and that looked like Danny Kent has as well. He's down. Danny was catching the leading two, and he's furious with himself more than anything else.
It was like a magnet where if he ran a bit wide, I was so mesmerised of his bike, I would then run wide.
The fastest lap of the race last time round and was pushing on.
Kicking myself. It's going to be a long old journey because I've not stopped thinking about it.
And it's given Rory Skinner a bit of breathing space as well out front, but there's some traffic up ahead there. That's Louis Vallely they're coming up on.
It was weird, like 5 laps to go, I kind of just went into like a flow state and I zoned out. Like, it was riding well, like hitting all my markers, but I zoned out and I thought we were just like free practice again.
1.2 miles left for Rory Skinner, and he's still got a bit of traffic to deal with here as we start the final lap of race 2.
He controlled the race from the front, he came across the line, he picked up his first victory, wheelied, he got a killer wheelie, didn't he?
And what a return to business this has been for the Scotsman. Here on home turf, Rory Skinner then climbs up the hill, and he's finally a BSB race winner in his own backyard. Skinner wins it here.
I mean, BSB just continues to deliver, you know, new names, new riders, and it's just so cool to see Rory picking up a win, especially here at home turf after everything he's been through for 2 years. I didn't expect to see him necessarily fighting for the win this weekend after everything he's had happen to him, returning from concussion, but amazing to see him pick up the win. And another different rider on the top step. He rode brilliantly in that race, you know, in the wet. He looked cool, he looked calm. He looked aggressive when he needed to be, and you know, you just wonder already, don't you, that if Rory hadn't missed 5 races, or I think he crashed in 1 and missed another 3 or 4, you know, where would he be? Would he be in the mix for the championship? It's still early days, but he showed his class there, and over the moon to see him picking up a win. But it's just every single race we have in BSB this year throws a new name in the mix, and you're like, oh yeah, what about that person, and what about that person? And I mean, ultimately, there's going to be some really disappointed people at the end of this year that aren't fighting for the championship.
Well, if you thought that 2023 was packed full of drama, what we've witnessed so far in 2024 is just as good. It's the same names at the top. They were separated by just half a point last year, but Tommy and Glenn are just 2 points apart heading into this 3rd and final race of the weekend in Scotland. 2 points in the lead of the championship. The reigning champ Bridewell lights out as they head down towards turn 1. A rocket start for Rory Skinner, number 11 on the BMW, or is it? Because through comes Danny Kent to lead on the McCams Yamaha. Idden is in 3rd, Bridewell's in 4th. That's Billy McConnell immediately up to 5th, and it's tight there through turn 3, and Skinner retakes the lead.
The first couple of laps of that race 3, I was just a bit nervous. Just, you know, last time I was on the bike, I took the front.
Bit of a moment there for Skinner. That might be the door open for Christian Idden to have a look.
Yeah, I think Christian Idden's going to have really good pace if the bike keeps going underneath him. Up it goes up the inside, little bit of a block pass, but clean, makes that late apex. Nothing Rory Skinner could do about that. Great move.
I'd spent the whole of the previous race sort of shadowing Rory and didn't really have much for him. I was there and I was sort of able to sort of sometimes pull him in, sometimes he'd pull away. But at the start of that 3rd and final race, I felt like I was able to find the grip so much easier on my bike, and I just felt like I had a better bike underneath him what he had.
Exactly just there where they are now as Bridewell cuts through underneath Rory Skinner. And that's a corner that we thought Rory Skinner was really impressive at in the race earlier today.
We were both riding on the limit. And I think that's why we were able to, you know, pull a bit of a gap on the rest of the field.
Danny Kent now trying to put a move on Rory Skinner, eager to get through. He doesn't want to lose sight of the race leaders, and he knows he's got to make a move, and he does make a move, but so late on the brakes there with Skinner.
I got into my rhythm, there was a bit of a gap. I could see myself, I passed Rory and then I got into a good pace. I could see myself catching them, the front 2, Tommy and Christian, a little bit.
Kent can maybe sense that. Is he going to line up a move here? Yes, he is. He likes that move. That was neat down into turn 3 at McIntyre's. Danny Kent is up to 3rd. Louis Vallely pulls over to one side, and we'll get a good glimpse here with a 3rd of the race left at Christian Idden and Tommy Bridewell. Now then, what can Danny Kent do in 3rd? Can he reel in the 2 out front?
I was just sort of sneaking away from the guys behind. By this point, Tommy was in 2nd, and you know, I was under no illusions of how fast Tommy is. He's got the number 1 plate on for a reason, so I knew it was going to be a really tough race and there was going to be, like, no let-up.
There really is a dry line starting to appear here at Knockhill. There's still quite a few laps left here as well. Not here necessarily on the start-finish straight, plenty of spray available.
So difficult, these conditions. You've got to stick to whatever is the driest bit of the track. If you're going a little bit hot, you've got to lean over a bit more than you want to get...
Haslam's come down. It's been a rotten weekend and a rotten visit for Leon Haslam. He's already battered and bruised and he's as tough as they come. But I hope he's all right. Haslam crashes out of 5th place.
Kent's going here. He's going.
Up to the hairpin we go. We'll track that gap from Bridewell to Danny Kent shortly. And we'll monitor what's happening with Haslam as well, who's down in the gravel trap.
Yeah, yellow flag's going to be out and overtaking, but then again, they're not close enough yet.
Yeah, we've got a red flag.
Right.
We've got a red flag, and that is going to be declared a result. That is done.
7 different winners in 11 races. That is insane, like insane.
And who did we have pop up? Well, he followed Rory Skinner in race 2. He saw exactly what Rory was doing. Christian Idden then took that into race 3 and did exactly what Rory Skinner did in race 2.
We got the win.
At the end of round 4, to be leaving with 11-point championship lead is well above our expectations. Is a manufacturer, is a team. We knew we would be strong. I know what the pressures are. I know what I need to do. And I guess the target on my back is the number 1, and I'm carrying the number 1. Everyone told me it was too much weight for me to carry, but I feel like I'm doing a good job of carrying it.
Either way, I'm happy to come away with another podium position for the McCams Racing. Some good solid points on the table going on for the rest of the year. So look forward to Snetterton now.
Christian Idden back to winning ways, the first time since 2021 at Brands Hatch. And he so deserves it as well. His back was against the wall last year. He's pretty much threatened to quit the sport and walk away. And he's turned it around. I love the comments that he's made about the fact, you know, that he used to be just the cress in an egg mayo sandwich and now he's the egg mayo. I mean, he certainly didn't stink the place out this weekend. He was brilliant. So pleased for him to be back on the top step and championship contender.
To win one is great. I feel like there's a weight lifted off my shoulders because it's my first win with this team and they've put a lot of effort in and they're a good bunch of guys and they really do work hard and I really appreciate all the effort and hard work because like we ride the bike and the fans clap for us when we finish, but this is a team sport. Okay, it's not a team sport like football and that, but my other players aren't on the pitch, but they're there in the game. So yeah, big kudos to them and thanks to them for putting what was a really good bike underneath me for today, and that's something that, you know, we've had to work at this weekend.
I think we'll see OMG Gorilla Yamaha back. They've had an off weekend at Knockhill, purely because there's been a little bit of illness in the camp there. Kyle missed free practice one, he wasn't well. Ryan has missed the races this afternoon. Kyle just wasn't at the races. He hurt his knee after a fall off as well. They will be back. They will be back. It's Vickers' home territory. We're going to Snetterton, to Norfolk. That's where Ryan's from, Thetford. Expect them to be strong. Expect all the Ducatis to be there or thereabouts. And also a blue bike. I think the Cheshire Moulding BMW, Rory Skinner, they've got this win under the belt. They've chalked it off. Rory Skinner's now a BSB race winner. I'm not saying that just because it's his home round here. He'll carry that momentum forward. Stuart Shenton on the tools, Rory Skinner on the bike. Potent mixture, that.